attempting to try and explain to individuals in this call that financial institutions are for a fact making positive developments and strides in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. Financial institutions are for a fact interested in DeFi. They're integrating crypto into their banking core infrastructure. And in today's video breakdown, that is the premise of the information that we're going to share with you all today. Again, none of these perspectives are ours. I'm simply just reiterating information that's readily available to every single person if you choose to do the research instead of being shaken out. Remember that the vast amount of individuals in the crypto sector right now trade and invest based off of emotions, and that's going to get you wrecked long term. Again, not financial advice, but zoom out, have a long term perspective, really understand what's being built behind the scenes, why this is all taking so long, understand the risk implications that financial institutions and the regulating process that financial institutions have to go through to really participate in a brand new spanking ecosystem. Just because you've been in the market for a year, 2 years, 3 years, it's not really a long time. Okay. For a market to really mature and lay foundations that are going to be stable for years and years and years to come. So that is all happening for a fact. And I'm going to show you that even with this most recent market downturn, considering that the crypto fear and greed index reached a low that hasn't been seen since Bitcoin hit 17,000 just I believe it was last week this happened, if not the week prior to that. So people are for sure, um, and have been over the past couple of months, predominantly May and June, via the market pullback that we just experienced, have recently experienced some emotional rethinking where a lot of people are starting to say crypto's a scam, that certain digital assets, because they're not performing well, because your favorite bullish moon boy told you that they were going to be $100, aren't $100 right now, that those projects are scams or are dead. And that is the farthest thing from the fact. If you pay attention to who's been developing, who's been connecting, who's been networking, who's been growing, you can 110% see that behind the scenes, financial institutions are working with these blockchain and distributed ledger technology companies to integrate all of this into the current way that we know of finances, right? It's 100% happening. So we'll start here. I won't play too much of this, but this individual representative, just to show you guys that I'm not making this up. This individual, Stefan Dreyer, said, I think that we'll continue to make progress. Certainly over the last 12 to 18 months, there has been significant progress, despite a lot of negativity. We're always going to have bad actors making headlines, but that specifically does not define the crypto asset or crypto space. So bad actors, all of these collapses, all these insolvent exchanges and bad projects, that doesn't define crypto and the technology itself. Right? You need to understand that. And who is this individual? This isn't just some random person. Stefan Dreyer, he has experience at the ISO, which is an international organization for standardization. Okay, that's a standard setting body. And he's telling you this information. Just to solidify what he's saying, here's his experience. So you can see right here, ISO, International Organization Standardization. He worked there for 4 years and 5 months. Okay. And then to further go over what he said, just to back it by another individual, we have the CEO of the Blockchain Association saying the same exact thing on a panel discussion from just a month ago. And remember, just a month ago, the beginning of June, right, is when the crypto market started to pull back. This video only has 217 views. There's 500 million people in crypto, give or take, and 8 billion plus people on this earth. And you can clearly see that nobody's paying attention to this type of information. So I'm going to play what she says for you, how the market has matured, how crypto native industry teams have teams themselves in Washington, D.C. We talked about on the previous video breakdown before the internet cut off that the United States is not falling behind like everybody thinks. They are 110% to a certain degree planning for this digital future and building an infrastructure, just like every other major jurisdiction on the face of this earth is building out a new infrastructure to participate in this new Web3 ecosystem. So listen to what she says.
Look at what happened in the marketplace with FTX, with 3 Arrows Capital, with Terra Luna. There were a lot of really bad headlines around the crypto industry over the past couple of years, right? Crypto was clearly in the penalty box for a while. It wasn't perceived as something that was maybe even going to survive, let alone something that had good uses. I mean, if you looked at the Wall Street Journal or the New York Times every day, the headlines were terrible. But what happened in the past 6 months is we've actually emerged from that really bad period of time, and we've come out strong. The organizations in this space that are working on policy have really developed. We didn't have Stand with Crypto, for example. That has over 700,000 grassroots activists signed up to call their members of Congress when an opportunity arises. That group wasn't here a couple of years ago. We didn't have the Fair Shake Super PAC a couple of years ago. The Blockchain Association was here, but we were a lot smaller than we were today, right? I think if you look at all of the companies, the Coinbases of the world, the Krakens, some of the larger funds, they all have teams in Washington now. This didn't exist a couple of years ago. So we're now in this space, in this place where we have all of the pieces that are needed to effectively engage in the process. And we're at a level of maturity that we didn't have before. So I think it's sort of a combination of recovering.
Right. So we're at a level of maturity that we didn't have before. There's teams via crypto native organizations and teams in Washington, D.C. She said there's pieces of the puzzle that are in place for them to adopt these assets and so on and so forth and migrate. Again, this transformation is happening. But look, okay, the mainstream's never going to show you this video. CNN's never going to show you this. No, they're going to display the price of Bitcoin and they're going to tell you, oh my gosh, investor sell pressure on Bitcoin was heavy today. And they're going to show you flashing red numbers across the screen to manipulate your minds, right? So moving on, here is another video breakdown. Just to confirm, I'm not making this up. These financial institutions are for a fact integrating crypto into their core banking infrastructure. Again, you have a lot of people in the space that are going to say to you that banks are never going to use crypto. They're never going to adopt crypto. Oh my gosh, it's going to get banned, okay? This gentleman, this individual representative right here, he is Matthias Mueller, the CCO and member of the executive, give me a second, board of BX Digital. And he goes on to say this, just take.
So Matthias, from your perspective, how is it looking like for the traditional financial systems to be able to build this new infrastructure and integrate it well with the traditional setups?
The question addressed to me, yeah, Taurus, of course, has an important part to play as well there. Yeah, on the side of the banks, as we are quite fortunate, as I mentioned, many of the traditional banks are now already adopted cryptocurrencies into their core banking systems. This is very notable because what that means is most banks in Switzerland adopted cryptocurrencies into their core banking systems. These additional banks are now already adopted cryptocurrencies into their core banking systems.
Okay, so he literally just openly admitted on stage that banks are integrating cryptocurrencies into their core infrastructure. Okay, I don't know how else to make that serious for you to understand. Okay, this video. Okay, so this video is from 7 days ago, only has 911 views. So again, proving my point that not a lot of people in the space, in the crypto sphere, especially retail, are even paying attention to this type of information. Vast amount of retail traders in this space that are currently involved in crypto will not be here in 3 to 5 years. That is almost guaranteed. The 500 million people, apparently, out of that, again, percentage, I firmly believe that a lot of people are going to get shaken out to some degree, right? Whether that's they don't buy more because they don't believe in it or so on and so forth, or they sell their positions too early because they don't understand the exponential growth curve that we're going to see over the next 5 to 7 years moving into that 2030 agenda. Okay, this is going to be insane. And if you can tap into that, again, right now, why we're always constantly talking about DeFi and why in the Wealth 28 Club, we're constantly focused on growing our wealth now, growing our bags now, adding more capital, adding more knowledge and information to really help us scale in this new Web3 ecosystem is because those are the people that are going to come out on top. Guaranteed. Yes. Obviously, of course, losses are going to happen. There's risk involved. You have to be able to stomach that. You have to understand that volatility inherently comes with the cryptocurrency markets. That's something in the prerequisites that you have to internalize. If you can get past that, you can stomach the volatility and you can understand that 90% of retail traders on Twitter and X have no freaking idea what they're talking about. You can really tap in. Okay. And so moving on, let me prove to you all that financial institutions, because obviously, of course, in the Wealth 28 Club, we educate people about DeFi. We show them how we are involving our own capital in the DeFi markets right now and attempting to do so in such a way that is going to steer towards regulatory compliance, because that's what's coming. We're on the verge of experiencing regulatory crackdowns all across the board, where the landscape that we know now in crypto is going to completely change over the next couple of years. And it's going to be due to regulations. So we have to move with the changing tides. And then one of the things that we found, and we noticed in the Wealth 28 Club, is that KYC and AML amongst these DeFi projects and protocols and so on and so forth are going to be pretty much necessary if financial institutions to some degree are going to get involved, because financial institutions require that process via their regulatory background. And let me show you all that it is happening. It is happening. And these projects that, again, you as retail investors have access to, you can go and check yourself that they're partnered with these organizations that are regulated, that are going to be AML and KYC compliant. And again, not a lot of people are doing this type of research. Okay, so we're going to start here. BlackRock's Butyl Fund backs Manta Networks wrapped USDM via Mountain Protocol. Manta Networks on-chain yield-bearing, again, interesting keyword right there, stablecoin, wrapped USDM is now backed by BlackRock's Butyl Fund, enhancing security and yield potential. This is recent from June 28, 2024. Okay, so just a couple, what is it today, the 12th, a couple weeks ago, right? Manta Network has announced that its on-chain yield-bearing stablecoin, wrapped USD, deployed by Mountain Protocol on Manta Pacific, is now backed by BlackRock's Butyl Fund. According to a Manta Network, this collaboration is facilitated through Securitize. I highlighted that in yellow. That's going to play an important role because, again, remember I talked about KYC and AML. I have a document that was shared in the CyberX research chat where I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the co-founder of Securitize goes on to reiterate the same thing that I'm telling you all, that the regulation landscape is going to change the current existing participants. It's going to force them to change because they're going to lay down regulations. And if they're not compliant, they're not going to be able to operate in the new system that they're building. And me and Mr. Akko can go down the tangent on, another industry that the same thing happened before, where everybody talked crap about it. Everybody thought it was going away, but it wasn't. Yes, there was a lot of illegal activity in it in the early days, but it matured and it scaled into something that's global right now, if I'm not mistaken, to a certain degree, right?
Facts. I mean, if we're talking about cannabis, I mean, if you go back in time, the propaganda, I mean, they had movies, they had posters, Reefer Madness, and they were, let me share my screen real quick, if you don't mind. Let me just share with everybody. This was the propaganda that was going down, to sway people's minds away from cannabis, 100%, not realizing like this was the propaganda. What does it say? Women cry for it, men die for it. The sweet pill that makes life bitter. Adults only. Like drug crazed abandon. This cannabis is gonna make you go crazy.
I remember back in 2009 that movie, Pineapple Express. Now this is more so predominantly oriented towards the United States, but in the United States, everybody shied away from cannabis and whatnot. Everybody said it was bad. You're a drug dealer if you involved yourself in it. But now look at it; it's used for medicinal purposes. Almost all states, if I'm not mistaken, to some degree, acknowledge cannabis use. That was not something trending in 2009. In 2009, if you were a cannabis user, you're a drug dealer. And again, look back. That was almost 20 years ago. It's 2024. That was a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying? And right now, we're in that changing moment. We're just like in cannabis a couple years ago. Okay, it was shied upon. Not a lot of people talked about it. If you used it, you were bad, illicit market purposes, blah, 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 right? Terrorism. Okay. That's exactly what's happening in crypto, but it's going to continue to scale. It's going to continue to mature, and institutions are going to continuously adopt it after regulation comes into play, just like other industries that have matured as well in the past. This is not going away. Anybody that tells you that crypto is going away, unfollow them. They're illogical. They don't understand technology adoption curves, and just like save yourself, please. Okay. Anyways, to continue this fundamental piece, let's go down this and continue this, because I want to show you guys how there are ways right now for you, again, not financial advice, to scale your wealth through understanding DeFi and looking at the opportunities that are available to you that are, again, it's the entire space is not regulated, but are being compliant, are partnering with regulated entities, are actually making networks and partnerships with other companies and organizations that are and fall under regulatory compliance. Okay. And you can do that research. It is not impossible. So don't let anybody tell you that it is impossible. Okay. This collaboration underscores Manta's long-term investment in enhancing the use case, security, and utility of real-world assets. Available on Manta Pacific, the enhanced security and yield of wrapped USDM backed by BlackRock's Butyl Fund presents an attractive prospect for users within the Manta ecosystem. Currently, the Manta community can participate in Manta C DeFi, the latest innovation and product from Manta Network. Again, this is all new stuff that offers institutional grade yield and security on real world assets. Again, institutional grade. Keep in mind, I'm not the one making this up, telling you that financial institutions are going to get interested. This is BlackRock participating in this institutional yield grade security on real world assets. Okay. So again, this is just proof in the pudding. This is from 10th July, 2024. Zodia Custody and Maple Finance partner to bridge TradFi and DeFi. Again, we just go back. Okay. So we got BlackRock, a large financial institution interested in yield bearing and so on and so forth in this new Web3 ecosystem. And we got Zodia Custody, Maple Finance partnering for bridging DeFi and TradFi. Okay. It says right here, let's read through this. In a move signaling growing institutional interest. Look at how they open that. Growing institutional interest in decentralized finance, DeFi, Zodia Custody, a leading digital asset custodian backed by major financial institutions, has announced a strategic partnership with Maple Finance. If you don't know what Maple Finance is, people wake up, because there have been some massive accomplishments made by Maple Finance, a DeFi lending platform. Again, I repeat, a DeFi lending platform that not a lot of people are paying attention to. Okay. And Zodia Custody just partnered with them. Zodia Custody is backed by regulated financial institutions, according to this announcement on Tuesday. Again, this took place July 10th. Now, just to show you guys what I'm talking about, like crazy developments. Look at this. Not a lot of people know this. July 5th, this is just last week. Maple Finance TVL more than doubles leading up to new retail arms. We're going to get to that. So this is just showing you guys that this stuff is important, because while the rest of the cryptocurrency market is down, what happened? Maple's TVL increased by 123%. Okay, you see this, and we're going to get into this because this platform right here, SyrupFi, offers opportunities for retail investors. So you see large financial institution custody providers like Zodia Custody, right? Doing what? Partnering to bridge TradFi and DeFi. This is not some game. This is not some game. This is real stuff happening. So it says the partnership aligns with the broader narrative of DeFi maturing and emphasize systemically bridging the gaps between TradFi and DeFi, highlighting a collaborative approach rather than a disruption. In partnering with Zodia Custody, we aren't just setting a tone for institutional adoption, we're setting the standard. Ryan O'Shea of Maple Finance's head of operations said, together, they are advancing the infrastructure and cultivating the borrowing and lending solutions institutions need to bring more assets on chain. Remember how me and Mr. Aqua showed you guys in previous video breakdowns that Ripple projected that right now the total value locked in the DeFi ecosystem is peanuts compared to what it's going to be? I think they projected like $601 billion by 2030, right? This is clear proof showing you that that infrastructure, like they mentioned, infrastructure right here is being put in place, okay? And just like you heard this individual representative say, they are integrating this into the core banking infrastructure. This is not some joke. So if you just go look and take a peek at Maple Finance, excuse me, you can see right here, it talks about how Zodia Custody Maple's finance integration is targeted to go live in the early Q3. So that's, coming, it's coming. The company said in a statement, right? So if you go look at Maple Finance, you can see right here, Maple Direct, stablecoin secured lending, altcoin secure lending, 10% APY, 20% APY. This is the new wave. The APY and the APR that you get in the old traditional system is dead. You're not finding 20% APY anywhere in the traditional financial system.
Yeah.
And the financial institutions know that. They know that. So even if you're not going to expose your capital now, I get that. I get that perspective. There's a lot of skeptical people. They want to hold on to their digital assets and put them in cold storage. That's fine. But what's stopping you from joining a like-minded community like the Welch 28 Club or like many others out there that are here to, at least at a minimum, educate you on DeFi to a certain extent? What's stopping you? You should understand this because the financial institutions are. And even if that's not coming to us for that education, you should be looking at documents online. You should be doing research because, again, this is my personal opinion. Not everybody, can fathom this stuff. Not everybody has the intellectual IQ or even the time to get involved in this stuff. But if you do and you're not, you're slacking.
Yeah.
You're slacking. If you have money sitting anywhere dormant and you're complaining about money, you're slacking. Like, it's time to wake up. It's time to realize that they are creating this new system for us to participate for the first time ever. Let me show you guys. I think I highlighted somewhere where it talks about how this is happening for the first time ever. But to kind of transition, okay, where we were talking about AML KYC. Well, here on the Maple Finance documents, okay, you can click through, you can read their docs. It talks about this. It says right here, what is the process to onboard? Submitting KYC documentation. Standard documentation, including proof of identity, address, income, and an entity. On average, this will take 3 minutes for an individual to complete and 9 minutes for an entity, right? So it talks about this. Now, if we come over here, again, this is available for retail. Maple Finance total value locked growth is accelerating after the launch of its retail-focused product, SyrupFi. Maple's TVL increased by 123% in the second quarter, hitting an all-time high of $230 million, according to the Dune Analytics. The protocol's quarterly revenue also jumped by 39%. Maple's strong performance in June was capped off by the launch of SyrupFi on June 25th. The rest of the DeFi market also increased by roughly about 9% in the same time period per DeFi Llama. The growth spurt is indicative of the demand. Look at this. For institutional grade products leveraging high yield. Do you all freaking see that right now? They are for a fact. Tap the F in.
Heck yeah, they are. For sure, without a doubt.
And so if you think that earning yield on your digital assets or putting them to work for you is a joke right now, you honestly, at this point, I don't like to call anybody out, but y'all, come on now. I'm trying to motivate people to wake up and look into this, because so many people are misleading you to believe that DeFi is a scam. It is not a scam if you take a mature approach. If you actually look behind the scenes, assess your risk properly, and do the digging, and not just jump into high APRs and chase scammy little meme coins that offer all these crazy high APRs. And you actually understand that if you have $30,000 or $10,000 or even $1,000 sitting in a savings account, earning nothing at a bank right now, you could be earning 20%, 40%, 60% APR, APY.
Easily.
Right? Easily. Okay. And I'm just scratching the surface. I don't want to get hypey on this video, but there's way higher APRs and APYs if, again, you choose to do the digging and the research to grow and scale your capital in the now. Okay. That's right. And that's a fact. I don't want to talk about them on the video because I don't want people to think that I'm promoting high APRs and APYs. But again, there are those opportunities. Okay. Anyways, let's continue. So it says retail focused. In addition to institutional products, the team has recently, and again, so it's talking about institutions and retail. The team has recently launched a retail focused arm dubbed SyrupFi. So I went, click through it. You can read. This is it right here. Institutional yield unlocked. Keep in mind, for the first time ever, this is available to us as manual retail investors. For institutions, they've pretty much centralized all these yield bearing assets. For example, the real estate market. The real estate market is, if not one of the biggest markets in the world, the biggest market in the world. Okay. And it's actually kind of quite difficult to get involved in the real estate market because there is a requirement. And the requirement is a lot of initial principal, a lot of initial capital. Somebody with bad credit and not a lot of money could not really participate in buying real estate property, tokenizing that real estate property, and then earning yield on that real estate property until recent. Right. Well, now, just like this, not real estate's conclusive, but still understanding that anybody, even if you just have $10, right, on the street, you're just some Joe Schmo at a gas station smoking a cigarette, right? Your $10 in your pocket, okay, could be earning yield of 400+%.
Facts.
On your mobile phone right now through DeFi. Okay. So again, $10 becomes very powerful with 400% APR, APY. And not a lot of people understand that. And this is, I'm showing you guys that this is available to you to some degree. So it says, welcome to Syrup. And I'm not saying that Syrup offers those types of percentages. Like I mentioned, those are available in DeFi. You just have to do your digging again. Anyways, Syrup is a new decentralized protocol that extends Maple's expertise in institutional digital asset lending to offer broad access to high quality, secure yields. The launch combines the strength and security of Maple's renowned lending infrastructure with the flexibility and inclusivity of DeFi. The Syrup platform enables users permissionless access to secured institutional lending for the first time. Do you all see that sentence right there? Okay. This is all new. That's why people think it's a scam. This ain't like you go walk down the street to your local store and talk to somebody about this. They're going to look at you like you got a freaking bug on your face, right? Nobody knows about this stuff. Okay. So, the 290 people listening to this call right now, if you're hearing about it for the first time, you're now an enlightened individual and you should take it a step further to educate yourself. I'm not telling anybody to go out and invest and dump all your life savings in this. No, but at least learn about it, educate yourself about it. And don't just stop there. There's so many other opportunities in the Web3 ecosystem that you should be pursuing because it is the future. And if you don't think that or believe in that, then you just haven't read enough. You haven't watched enough panel discussions. You haven't dug enough digging. Or done enough digging. Copper. So just to kind of full circle this and end my spiel, we got Zodia Custody partnering with Maple. We got in order to, build out the infrastructure for institutional adoption. We got Copper 2 weeks ago on Ondo Finance's LinkedIn profile. They said Copper, a leading digital asset custody, collateral management, and prime services company, was excited to announce its latest integration with Soy. Okay, if you don't know what Soy is, the Soy network, you should go check it out. It's over from the run that took place, this year. Just go look at it. It's so discounted right now. I'll show you guys. Look at this. This is, in my personal opinion, again, a crazy opportunity considering what I'm about to show you guys. Again, utility use case that it's actually partnering with regulated entities. Okay, look at what happened this year with Soy. So this is December and January, right? This year, Soy ran over, let's say, 195%. That is before the partnerships that I'm about to show you, because Copper partnered with Soy and Google also partnered with Soy this year. And look at where price is. It's literally where it's at and where it was at the beginning of the freaking year, people. That is a steal. I'm just saying, not financial advice. Like I'm just showing you guys information, okay? And check this out, right? Okay. So we got the strategic partnership will enable robust custody infrastructure support for stablecoin and real world assets. Always keep in mind that I just showed you guys Blackrock's interested in DeFi. I'm going to show you guys Standard Charter is interested in DeFi. So DeFi is the new wave, and they're building out the infrastructure for financial institutions to get on board. And Soy right here, you can see, is integrated in that in some way, shape, or form. Zodia Custody set to integrate Copper's Clear Loop. So this shows you guys that Copper is partnered with Zodia Custody. Okay. Zodia Custody. We got Copper partnering with Soy, right? We got Maple Finance partnering with Zodia Custody. Okay. Standard Charter is backed by Zodia Custody is backed by Standard Charter. Okay. So let's further the rabbit hole. Look at this. Here is Zodia Custody's website, the institutional first digital asset custodian owned by Standard Charter. So you can see it right there. Based in London and registered in the UK with the Financial Conduct Authority. So this is not a joke. These are regulated entities making these partnerships, okay, with DeFi protocols. Again, I just showed you guys Copper is partnered with Zodia. Zodia is regulated by the FCA, and Copper is partnered with Soy. Do you all see? Like, how can people not see it? Okay, so anyways, now coming over here to show you guys Standard Charter. Look at this document from Standard Charter just the other day. It's a PDF labeled Real World Asset Tokenization, a game changer for global trade. Remember, Zodia Custody is backed by Standard Charter. Okay, so Project Guardian, obviously, of course, BIS, Innovation Hub, they talk about this and whatnot. At the heart of Project Guardian lay a bold vision to explore how blockchain networks can help to advance the development of safer and more efficient financial networks, a collaboration between the Monetary Authority of Singapore and industry leaders. Participating institutions conducted market case studies to design the blueprints for the future market infrastructure that leverages the innovation potential of blockchain and DeFi. Okay, I don't know what else to show people right there, like they're literally telling you to your face, but you will have people on the internet right now in the crypto space telling you DeFi is a scam. But you got financial institutions like Standard Charter telling you that they're testing this right now. They're building out an infrastructure. It says literally right here. These are not the words from CyberX. This is the words from Standard Charter. Building out a blueprint right here for the future market infrastructure. Okay. It's laughable when people say, oh, crypto's dead. It's a scam. It's literally just laugh at them and block them, please.